All right, guys. It's been a while since I've been able to record. Like a lot of people that work full time, I'm super frustrated that I don't get to put as much time into YouTube as I want because I really enjoy it. So, I thought I would do a quick little video. Most of the CAD work I do is under a non-disclosure agreement. In this particular case, this is for a customer, but it's not something that would be under the non-disclosure. It's just a piece of equipment that I'm drawing for them, and it's not for manufacturing purposes. It's actually just a architectural placeholder. So I do a lot of architecture in Solidworks. I know that's not super common, but for me, because we do prefab, it's actually very it works well because we do a lot of modifications to the building that are programmatic, so I can program that stuff in through SolidWorks. In this case, this is a service window for a coffee house, and really it could be a service window for anything, for a fast food joint, anything like that. And this particular service window is made by Ready Access. This is not a manufacturing file or a CAD file, so it's representational only. So this isn't going to give you all the details to the window, but basically I figured I'd just go through it real quick and kind of show you guys one particular way to do it. I'm sure there's a whole bunch of different ways that make sense. So we'll get right to it here. The first thing I did in this is, actually I did it after a couple of line items. I made it a weldment, and the reason I did that is I didn't want SolidWorks to constantly be asking me to join the bodies. I do a lot of multi-body. Whether you like multi-body or not really is your business, but I do it a lot. So I created a weldment, and then right after that I actually started with the master sketch. And the master sketch is basically just the window itself, the sizes of the window. So it's a 710 by 5.6 window, and the actual service window itself is the center portion there, the 3'7" or the 3'11.5" by 3'7.5". That's the service window. And I drew overlapping boxes so I could reuse some of the lines. And if you don't know how to pick lines that are underneath each other, you just right click and use your selection manager. But anyways, so there's my master sketch that controls all of the rest of the data downstream. And then basically what I did is I just used Extrude Thin features on this one. My first Extrude Thin was, and I'll hide this so you can see it better instead of being shaded, because it's a black window. It's anodized black. So we'll do that. So the first one, this size, Extrude Thin, is it's on the mid plane. So I drew on the front face and extruded both directions. It's 4.5 inches deep. It's an aluminum extrusion, but I drew it as a solid. Remember, this is just representational. And then it's 2 inches one direction, so it's 2 inches in this case to the right of the line. And it just allowed me to use one line to create the feature, and you get your solid out of that. So I'm going to go ahead and hide the master sketch so it makes it a little easier to see. So in this case, I've got just this piece here. I made a plane, and I might as well just go ahead and show that real quick. The plane is on this midpoint line right here. Some of these construction lines give me reference data so I can do mirroring and things like that. In this case, I mirrored across that first plane to get the other, I believe those are called mullions, but I'm not sure. You window people would know. So I got the other side there, and then the next Extrude Thin I believe is going to be the top, which it is. And then of course we're going to mirror across the top plane, and that's going to get us the bottom. So one of the best practices is to reuse as much data as you can, and you know, as you get to use SolidWorks more and more, you'll find good ways of reusing the data without having to create a bunch of line items. And then I created the glass in the middle here. So in hidden, it's going to show it as a solid. This is the glass right here. Now, if I go into shade mode, you'll notice also by creating a weldment, it gives me a cut list. Don't know how useful that's going to be to you, but if, and why it's not letting me see my cut list. Basically, this centerpiece here is set to glass as material type, and these outer pieces are set to aluminum. In fact, I think I set the whole project to 6061T6. Yeah. So it's either a 6061, it might be a another type of aluminum being an extrusion, but I know tubing is 6061, so I just made an edge guess. And then you start building out these pieces that form the transom, which is the window above the service window. So we've got that piece, and then we'll go back into shaded so you can see it. We start to build the actual service window itself, and we're going to mirror all that junk over and get the other side. And then we get the top of the transom. We've got a plane that's the mid plane of the transom probably, and then the bottom of the transom. And these are all extrude thins. Oh, and the other thing that I did, it doesn't look like I did it on that one. Did I? What I attempted to do on all of these extrude thins, and it looks like I've actually violated some of my own procedures. So normally what I would do is I would set, oops, that's my driven one. So, and I'll go ahead and do it. You can see here these are linked to that first initial piece. So extrude thin 5, this 2 inches should have been set equal to this first extrude thin. And that way I can be ensured that these pieces all, if I change something on that, if this ends up becoming a 6-inch sash instead of a 4.5-inch sash, I can edit that first piece of aluminum and it will update the rest of the project, and I don't have to go through and do every single one. So I'm going to set that equal to that. And you can always tell when you've done it because it'll show. Actually, just click on there. You can see that they've got the oh, what the heck? My brain's gone blank. The equation symbol in front of them. I knew it'd come to me. So extrude thin 3, obviously they didn't get done to that one either, so we'll get that fixed. Equals. And I'm just clicking on my first feature, and it makes my dimensions show up. And I'm using 2016. I haven't been able to upgrade yet, which is unfortunate, but just the way it is. It still works fine. Equals. I think I could maybe even click on the body. Let me see. Yeah. That one. We'll do Control Q and force rebuild it. Okay, so those are set, and then we're gonna use the top plane to mirror all the way to the bottom, and then we're going to create an extrude thin for that filler piece there, midway up. And so now I'm going to create a plane that's the mid plane so that I can mirror across this opening. And that would be this plane right here. And then I'm going to mirror the bottom to get the top. And let's see, that doesn't get this is a separate size right here. Extrude thin 7 should be linked. It's not, so I'll fix that. Equals that one. Come on. And then this right here. If you got live editing on, you kind of have to double click quickly to get it to select and open that window. Okay, so those are all set up. Force rebuild. I've got Extrude Thin 8, which is this big blocky piece here. We'll go ahead and set 4.5 to be equal to this piece here. Oh, you dirty dog. That one. I hate it when it does that. Not clicking quick enough. Okay, equals that. Wow, all of a sudden it's raining really hard. Let's see, and then the last boss extrudes are going to be glass. So this glass here, I should set that thickness equal to the original piece of glass. Get that done here. And in reality, I believe the panes for the service window are set all the way forward against the outside edge. I didn't draw them that way, but they should have actually been set up again. I think they should have been set against the outside edge. I saw a section in one of the plan sets or the spec sheet for the window, and I think they're pulled forward to the front edge, but I'm not going to fix it. Equals that. And then lastly, I mirrored across the center line. So I will unhide this, and this is a service window for, this would be the state of Nevada. Now, state of Oregon and I believe Washington require a reduced window. It's called reduced access. And just for those of you who by sheer chance might be doing architecture in Solidworks, that's just a little bit of information for the West Coast. So I hope this video helps someone. I am going to try to post more and more on my YouTube page. I got a lot of different stuff I want to be doing out in the shop, and I may also get into I'm starting to do some Asian cooking, and I'm also doing retail arbitrage. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We'll see if I can get the YouTube channel to pay out a little better and maybe help support itself. So talk to you guys later. Bye.